on BBC One or listening on Radio 2 or Radio 3. Welcome once again to Britain's biggest and most exuberant musical party, the last roundup of the 1981 season of Henry Wood Promenade concerts at the Royal Albert Hall. As television viewers can see, and all of you can hear, there's the usual good-humoured pandemonium in the arena and up in the gallery, both of them crammed with young people who've happily queued for hours, days, and in some cases weeks, believe it or not, so as not to miss the traditional outburst of fun and games that always bring the Promenade concert season to an end. Now, the musical fair is also, for the most part, highly traditional, and so you know as well as I do that we're going to be having Land of Hope and Glory, the Fantasia on British Sea Songs, with the Hornpipe with Rule Britannia, Jerusalem, and with James Lockwood once again in charge of the BBC Symphony Orchestra, Auld Lang Syne. He's a Scotsman, of course, and he introduced Auld Lang Syne a little while ago to the proms, and it's become a regular feature now of the last night. James Lockwood has brought his own choir with him this evening, the Halle Choir from Manchester. They're making their first appearance at the last night of the proms. James Lockwood has, of course, for the last 10 years been the principal conductor of the Halle Orchestra in Manchester. Now, another traditional feature of the last night is that there's always one item which is a little bit less familiar than usual, but I'm sure it's going to be very enjoyable this year. It's a sequence of dances by Malcolm Arnold. We hope that he's somewhere in the audience with us tonight. There'll be two Cornish dances to remind us that Malcolm Arnold lived for a number of years in Cornwall, a Scottish dance, which is just right for James Lockwood, of course, and a set of 4 English dances, which, and I hope I'll be able to talk a little bit more about those a little later on if we have time, but things are apt to move on rather rapidly on this particular occasion. Now, you also know as well as I do that this particular carnival, fun though it is, isn't really typical of the Promenade concert season as a whole. 8 weeks of it altogether. It's a real musical marathon. This year there have been 39 conductors, 115 soloists, 29 orchestras and other instrumental groups playing all kinds of music, some of it new and a lot of it new to the proms. So really there is something in the claim that this is the world's largest and most comprehensive musical festival. And the world is certainly with us tonight. This evening's event will be seen on television in 6 other European countries, and they'll be heard all around the world thanks to BBC World Service. There's a protest there, I think, about the proposed cuts in the external services of the BBC, which could mean millions of people might be able not to hear the proms in their own countries. 1 or 2 of the T-shirts showing these protests. Now, right in the middle of the front row of the promenade, there's 7 people who've waited outside for 18 nights, including Andy Harding and Robin Livermore, who arrived at 6:30 a.m. on August the 25th. Music students they are, as well as being long-distance sleepers out. There are always a few mascots to be seen on a night like this, and when we look a little bit further along the row there, we can see a small stuffed elephant called Oswald sitting on the bar. He's waited 3 nights for his position there on the rail in the front of the promenade. And also very much in evidence in the arena are members of the BBC Symphony Club. They're regular promenaders and regular BBC Symphony Orchestra concert goers. They get tickets at special reduced rates, and they say that more members would be cordially welcome. And so there are already close links between the promenaders in the arena, madly waving their Union Jacks in great profusion, and the orchestra on the platform. 1 or 2 members of the orchestra flinging back the paper darts that have been flung at them. And here comes the leader, Bela Decany. And the streamers once again shoot out towards the platform. Must be very difficult indeed to concentrate on the music. And now we come to another traditional moment in these celebrations. The ceremonial placing of a chaplet or wreath on the bust of Sir Henry Wood. There's a little poster we've just seen saying Holland loves the proms. This particular programme is going live for Holland tonight. Steve Ledwith from West London and Ed Houghton from Woking dust off the bust with a pocket handkerchief. Give Sir Henry a chance to blow his nose as they place the chaplet around his head. Great man who started the proms in the Queen's Hall in 1895. This is the 87th season, and the exuberance and the enthusiasm is just as great as it's ever been. Get well, Bill, we see. A message on the front of one of the boxes. Not quite sure who Bill is, but I hope he gets better too. And so we're really all set now for the grand finale of this Beasley Promenade concerts. James Laughlin looking extremely formal in full black tails with a red carnation. Very, very popular conductor at the last Night of the Proms. He's just celebrated his 50th birthday. The orchestra have just celebrated their 50th appearance at the Proms, and here they go with the Pomp and Circumstance March #1. Colossal enthusiasm as always. We know we're going to get an